Welcome to Align Trading, going over today's SPY recap and analysis. So first thing in the morning, I explained in the pre-market brief for Discord members was to be watching for the blue and yellow controlled selling algorithms as well as the 5-day moving average. So right here we can see that we have this blue along with the yellow right here that we are watching for this breakout, and we see we try to form this inverse head and shoulder right here, but when we break out of this 547, we are met with this rejection right here. And like I explained as well, with this rejection, if we see that right here at this 547, look for this shoulder right here, and you can see that we start to head back down because we are still within this green and white algorithms right here that we have been watching and still looking for this inverse cup to start closing right here. Now we were also in the wedge right here, and we were just waiting for the price to pick a direction, and you can see we had this fake out right here, and off of it is that rejection. We closed this first inverse cup, and from there you can see how we closed each of these on the way down, and I will show you on the 1 minute chart how that looked as well. Now after closing this inverse cup right here, we started to form this handle, and that is what we were in the rest of the day. We can see this controlled selling within this purple algorithm right here. Now I will come back and explain what to be watching tomorrow here, but we're going to go over the 1 minute chart and the microstructure now. So here in the morning off the open, being the day ahead of FOMC, we were seeing some choppy price action as we can see, and just really all over the place throughout the early morning. But I started to explain to be watching for this right here. As we can see, if we wanted to head back up, start watching for us to fill this cup at that 547 once again, or from there we could start to see this breaking down with this inverse cup and handle right here, and you see this head and shoulder right there for this first trade down. From there, I was explained to continue to watch for the green algorithm right here within this red selling that we are in, and watch as we head down, and you see once again this head and shoulder right there along with this inverse cup and handle hidden within right off of that red selling channel, and you see the move down. Now, along with what we saw here on the 1 minute with the green algorithm and these inverse cup and handles, we were also seeing on the 30 how I'm explaining this inverse cup is starting to close this first one right here after this rejection right here. So we were already watching for it right in this continuation, and that is why we were looking for the downtrend. Now, like I also explained, if we wanted to head back up, we needed to break out of this, and we needed to start heading back up, grabbing the shoulder and the liquidity that we had been forming, and from there we could start to fill a cup here and a larger one right there if we wanted to break out, but instead you see how we have this head and shoulder. Now after this right here, we got this move down through the moving average, and I explained, let's see if we could see a retest of it and another green algorithm right again, and we see this same inverse cup and handle along with the head and shoulder right there for once again another move down. Like I explained here, this was an A plus setup right here off of the moving average. This shoulder rejected it, and you can see this inverse cup and handle. So that is a great trade, and just off of this single one alone could have been all you needed for the day, even if you missed this first trade or this trade right here. After this last trade right here, I called it a day personally, but I continue to explain. From here, watch for this inverse cup and handle. If we see this head and shoulder right here, now it did not break yet, but you see it is still within, and you see this shoulder, another inverse cup and handle within that green, and once again, another move down that you could have taken. Now, once again, right here, if we wanted to head up, I explained, be watching for it to get back above this shoulder right here, and from there you can look for it to close this cup, and if we want to reverse there, but we did not, and instead you see this head and shoulder, and we are still within the green right here, working our way down. Now, like I was mentioning with the cups closing right here, this first one, I was explaining this final cupped close right here, and you can see this green handle along with this white right here, and that is why we get this move down and complete that cup. Now, after we close that cup, I explained be watching for this handle to form right here, and if we do start to see this handle, we can head back down, but I would like to see this 5-day moving average retest, and from there, this would be the ideal breakdown. So with that handle here on the 1 minute, you can see how that is forming right here, and we have this inverse head and shoulder starting to form, grabbing this liquidity back above, along with this cup closing right here. We have this yellow, which is starting to taper, this inverse head and shoulder. You can see this micro cup and handle, which could have been a trade right here. And then like I explained here, be watching if we wanted to head back down, grabbing this liquidity right here and continuing to dump, maybe another inverse cup and handle right there, or to be watching for it to form this inverse head and shoulder right here, you can see, and that is why we complete the next level at this cup, which is where the 5-day moving average was as well, and from there we started to see this yellow controlled selling. Now I explained for the final structures of the day, be watching for this cup and handle right here, along with this inverse head and shoulder to be forming, which you can see that we did, along with this other cup and handle right there. Now this was an end of the day trade, so if you missed it, it is all good, but if you took it, congratulations. Now to the downside, I was also explaining if we were going to head back down, be watching for us to get back below and form this inverse cup and handle, but you can see right here, we are just not really breaking down, and you can see that we are continuing to remain in this yellow. So now what to be watching for tomorrow, we can see that we are still within this inverse cup and handle forming right here, as long as we continue to see this handle form and we get this head and shoulder off of it. Maybe we close another inverse cup once again, still watching for this white algorithm right here to break, along with this green that we can see right here. So if that does happen, now we still have to watch if this is a double bottom right here, and we do want to head back up and grab all of this liquidity at this 547 right here, because we can very easily do that, and you will see this cup start to close right here, and we will break out of this blue and yellow controlled selling that we are in, and from there you can see how we could be building this larger inverse head and shoulder right here, as well as trying to fill this cup back to this 20-day moving average, and then from there, this cup up at this level right here again. We'll have to see where the moving average is tomorrow, and if we do want to break out of this white, holding below it, or we regain that 5-day moving average, and you can see how we are within this blue tapering right here, and say we want to break out like that, holding above this 5-day moving average and grabbing this liquidity at 547. So now here on the daily chart, same thing. We are looking if we are holding below this 5-day moving average right here, and from there we can continue to move down, or we hold above this 5-day moving average and we can start to head back up like this, completing this cup, or we continue heading down within this bear flag right here, and you can see that maybe this 547 is that resistance, and we complete this cup once again at these levels. So tomorrow is the big day with FOMC and Jerome Powell speaking, so do be prepared for that. Understand that there is going to be big candles, there's going to be some crazy price action, but understand what you are looking for and understand the zones, understand where the liquidity is, right? Understand what we can do. Do not have a bias just because we have this inverse cup now does not mean we are going to head down. We can very easily do something like that, grabbing this liquidity that we have been building for days. So be patient and understand that. But that is going to wrap up the video for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see members in the morning.